Why are bees ejaculating to death explosively? Why are female students rolling on the floor at a school claiming that evil spirits are attacking? And a new study shows washing dishes lowers heart disease. These are the weird stories for Wednesday on Weird AF News, the only daily weird news podcast hosted by a comedian inside a very hot closet. I say hot because it's hot. Bees are explosively ejaculating themselves to death. It's the sound of science. Oh, yeah. Let's learn a little bit about insects. One of my favorites, the bees. I recently covered a bee-related article last week. Beehives are being stolen. Very alarming. And now bees are masturbating to death, apparently. Equally alarming. The article begins with a question. What's black and yellow and ejaculates until it dies during heat waves? Well, male bees, it turns out. And scientists, disturbed as they may be about this, actually have a solution. Oh, maybe we can save these bees. I'm all for saving the bees, because when we save the bees, we basically save our food. You know, if it wasn't for bees, we wouldn't have some of our food. They're very important in the food chain. How does this work exactly? Well, apparently when the male bees get too hot, they overheat, such as in the dead of summer. They convulse until they explosively ejaculate to death, and a phallus the size of their abdomen bursts from their lifeless body. Oh, man, sounds like a horror film. I didn't realize their phallus was so large. It just breaks through their abdomen? It's inside them? How does this work? There's no video of this. I don't know if I want to see it. The idea of ejaculating to death just is also mind-blowing that you could do that. I often have wondered in my life, am I touching myself too much? What's the fallout of that? Could I die this way? Like, it seems like maybe I could, if the bees are an example. Well, obviously this is upsetting when we have global warming. So what are the experts doing? They claim they can fix this situation. One solution is to keep the beehives cooler during extreme heat, perhaps by using a polystyrene cover. This is according to Dr. Allison McAfee, who's conducted this research, along with a beekeeper named Emily. They're conducting analysis remotely at the time. Unfortunately, the doctor doesn't really know exactly why this is happening. Here's a quote from her. What we do know is that the sole purpose of the male bee, as far as we understand it so far, is to mate with a virgin queen, and they don't really contribute to the hive in any other ways. Their only job is to, when they're sexually mature, fly and find the congregation area where all the other boys go and find the queen and chase her in midair. Apparently they always die after they mate, but the ejection of a phallus from their abdomen is rather unusual. She says they actually contain a whole phallus internally. And when they mate, their abdominal muscles contract very strongly. The same thing happens when they die due to stress for reasons that we don't really understand. And this forces the endophallus to appear outside their body, to really burst through. Scientists know a bit about how heat affects bees. 50% of male bees or drones will actually die after 6 hours at 42 degrees centigrade. Certain places such as Canada actually got that hot this past summer, leaving a dent in the local bee populations. Seems like it might happen again this summer. Dr. McAfee says as far as the bees ejaculating themselves to death, this is still a total mystery. More research needs to be done. Meanwhile, you got to give it to the bees. At least they went out with a bang. Hey! Bad joke? Students in South Africa scream and roll on the floor because they believe they're being attacked by evil spirits. Some female students at the Dr. E.P. Lekela High School in Kimberley, Northern Cape, were reportedly attacked by, quote, an evil spirit during school hours. This strange incident reportedly started after the first period, when 18 girls, mostly in grades 8 through 10, started crying, screaming, rolling on the floor after apparently seeing a, quote, scary creature that was making them weak. There's a picture of these schoolgirls laying on the floor, a lot of them. They look like they're writhing around in pain. According to the report, pastors had to be called to the school to deliver the female students from this apparent evil spirit, while several parents also arrived at the school upon learning about the incident as well. This evil spirit at the school incident comes barely 2 weeks after another school in Galashu experienced a similar incident on February 22nd. The affected learners, aka students, were sent home in the care of their parents while the school was dismissed at 11 a.m. before a representative from the Northern Cape Department of Education arrived to find out what exactly is going on. What's going on with these evil spirits? Are they real? Are they a fabric of an active young imagination? Is this the sort of stuff that led people to accuse women of witchcraft way back in the day? Is there something going on? Do certain women have these abilities to see spirits and whatnot? Oh, I wish I could see spirits, man. That'd be fabulous. Never seen a ghost in my life, or an alien, or a Sasquatch, or a Loch Ness monster, or a Slender Man, or a demon, or a werewolf, or a Dracula. Nothing of the sort. Never seen Beelzebub. I want to see such things. Wish I was sensitive to the other world like that. I took some drugs. I was hoping that would make me see some things. No, I'm not going to lie. There was one powerful one that had me looking at the grass, and the grass turned into the face of a demon, and that was pretty exciting. And then I hugged a tree for a half an hour and thanked it for being there. Yeah, chemicals can make you do such things. All right, I went on a tangent. I apologize. It says here, the chairperson of the school governing body named Jerry, he disclosed the school had to call in the pastors because none of the staff were trained to deal with these situations, such as evil spirits and the whatnot. He added that the students were isolated after this. This is the third school in Kimberley to be impacted by the alleged evil spirits, and conclusions were made that, quote, opportunistic satanic methods were being used on young people and children in this particular area. And that's the end of the article. Are we supposed to believe that shamans or whatever are casting spells using satanic methods on the young women in the area? I don't know if I believe this hocus pocus. I mean, do you think maybe no evil spirits are involved and these girls just all collaborated in some effort to get out of school early? I always wanted to leave school early. I used to often think, what if I told them all I have a nut allergy outbreak? No one's going to question me. I could get out of here early. Sometimes you tell a little fib to get out of things. I don't know if this is the case, though. I mean, the pictures look pretty legit. I think these women saw something. How they could all have a collective hallucination, though? I don't understand this. But if this is an ongoing event in this area of the country, in South Africa, should probably get a pastor on duty at every school for the time being, along with a security guard. Now you have like a spirit guard of some sort to protect everybody from demons and what have you. You like podcasts? You're listening to my podcast. Maybe you thought to yourself, I'd like to make a podcast. Too difficult. No, not with Anchor. Anchor has free creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast from your phone or your computer. Anchor distributes your podcast to Apple, Spotify, Stitcher, and more. They have advertising integration, so you can even make a little money off your podcast. Everything you need to make a podcast in one place. Download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started. And good luck with your podcast. Good luck with your creation. Good luck with your life, man. A new study says washing dishes lowers heart disease in older women. I question this. Who paid for this study? A bunch of dudes? Scientists apparently say that some older women could get health benefits from doing chores like washing dishes and cooking. Come on. Really? Why wouldn't we all get these health benefits from doing chores? It's activity. You're moving your body around. Why just women? This sounds like a cockamamie study, but it's in the Journal of the American Heart Association. Wow, this is a legit medical journal. It's published by the University of California, this particular study. The study measured the physical activity of over 5,000 women between the ages of 63 to 97. They found that women who performed routine activities such as housework, cooking, and gardening saw a reduced risk of heart disease. They say self-care activities like showering can also be significantly beneficial for seniors' cardiovascular health. I think what you're really saying in this study is the obvious, and that is if you just, get involved in activities every day, you move your body around, complete some tasks, wash yourself, feed yourself, you lower the chances of heart disease. That just seems pretty obvious here. It's very misleading, though, when you just say women. This would cover everybody, in my opinion, it would seem. How much money did they pour into this nonsense, by the way? Hey, let's study things that are completely obvious. Put it on paper. Just waste some resources. Man, we got real problems out there. You could use this money. Let's do a study on why $10 hamburgers don't come with fries anymore. I'd like to see that study. I've been wondering for years why $10 hamburgers no longer come with fries. They used to come with fries automatically when I was a kid, and they were less than $10. Burgers always came with fries. I'm not talking about the fast food joints and stuff. I'm saying, like, if you went to a diner and you ordered the burger, or you went to a burger-specific restaurant, the fries come with it, especially when these burgers are over $10. Are you out of your mind? How about some science looking at this phenomenon, doing something about it, instead of giving us some obvious shit? Man, science is out of their minds and so bored. Unbelievable. I'm not even going to go on the nut allergy tangent because I've done it too many times on here. But there are other areas that are worthwhile of being studied by science, such as, why are women obsessed with serial killers? What is this? I just can't wrap my head around this. I would like some scientists to get on this because I want some answers. Why women just are crazy about serial killers, watching stories about serial killers, movies, listening to podcasts about serial killers. Some of these serial killers, when they're on trial, these women go to the courthouse with a sign, I love you. I love you so much. Night Stalker. They all think Ted Bundy was hot. I mean, what is this? This is a very strange phenomenon as well. I mean, maybe not as strange as bees ejaculating to death, but it's up there. It's up there, man. You guys have any answers to this question? Call the show, 646-450-2012. Why are you obsessed with serial killers? And are you doing sufficient gardening in your life? Hey, my friend, you've made it all the way to the outro because you're so generous with your time and you support the show, and I appreciate that. This is the time for announcements and whatnot. I'll keep it brief. Something cool is about to happen, though. I just want to give you a heads up. Weird AF News is about to hit 2 million downloads, or streams rather, which is pretty cool. Any day now, it's going to happen. And I'll be popping open some champagne. I'll shoot a video of me doing a champagne toast to all of you. I'll put that in a place that you can all view. Because you're part of this, basically. Without you, I wouldn't even be near this number. Yeah? So I'm super grateful, and I'm super excited. And so just taking a moment to give you a heads up on that. I got a nice email from Orville Banks. Orville Banks sent me an article and wrote, hope you've been doing well, Jonesy. I see your Instagram, and I'm super excited to see you at your best. Here's a very messed up and yet strange and weird AF News article. Take care and good luck with your life, man. Kind regards, Orville Banks Jr. Thank you, Orville. Orville and I have had a lot of back and forth on the various platforms. He's a big-time supporter of the show. OG fan of the show. So thank you very much for writing me and sending me an article and following me on the gram. If you guys want to follow me on the gram like Orville does, it's at Funny Jones. You can see a bunch of shows that I'm doing, clips of me doing stand-up comedy, clips of me acting, this kind of stuff, information about the podcasts, and some helpful stuff on there. At Funny Jones. You can even write me a note. I'll write you back. Shit. I don't ignore my fans. Anyways, if you'd like to send an email, it's funnyjones@gmail.com. If you have an article you'd like to send on over, like Orville did, feel free. And then I gave you the number if you want to call the show. Lastly, I just want to recommend the Patreon as a way to support the show if you feel like you want to do a little something extra for Jonesy. Patreon.com/WeirdAFNews, and you can support the show by, subscribing to me, a couple bucks a month or something, which is like buying me a shot of espresso, the shot of espresso. Why wouldn't you give me a shot of espresso a month? Keep me caffeinated. Keep this Weird AF News media engine running, You also get extra content in the Patreon because I'm always putting in there extra weird stuff that I come across in my life. stuff that I like, stuff about me, stuff about the weird world that we're surrounded by. Keep on listening to Weird AF News. Recommend it to a friend. It's a good time to do so because mainstream news is a little debilitating right now on the emotions and the mental state. And so why not keep it light with some weird news that sometimes is funny? But it's always weird, and you always learn a little bit something about the weird world that we live in. I love you very much, and we'll see you tomorrow.